Howdy, everybody. Welcome into the TexAgs Rewind presented by Yeti. I'm Richard Zane, filling in for David Nuno, who will be back on Monday from Nashville, Tennessee. And speaking of Nashville, on this edition of the Rewind, we did a little bit of a preview for SEC Media Days 2023. Of course, that begins on Monday in the Music City. We went around Aggieland with Kay Naegeli. We did a lot of conversating with TexAgs co-owner and executive editor, the source himself, Billy Liucci. And, of course, we got to talk to that man and Jim Schlossnagle and the new Texas A&M pitching coach, Max Weiner. This is the TexAgs Rewind. Kind of teased it going into the last break. SEC Media Days begins on Monday morning in Nashville, Tennessee, your old stomping grounds.
I'm glad
You'll be back?
Tennessee. Yeah, I'll be back.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
Taking Nick Savage with us.
He's a savage.
Jamie Murray, and of course, David Nuno will be there. And Billy Liucci.
And Billy
Liucci, the man who will have to shake all the hands and kiss all the babies.
Yeah. It's the 4 longest days of the year for me. It's going to be extremely cold in the ballrooms and listen to the same coaches drone on about the same things. But it's important. It's the Black Friday of the football season.
Meaning
like it's not Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving where you go, okay, it's the Christmas season now, but it's really not. You still got a ways to go before it actually is Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. They market it as the kickoff.
But it's kind of, and media days is kind of like, okay, it's time to really get into it. It's time to start investing. Mm-hmm. Black Friday monetarily, getting fully invested for fans on media days is kind of emotionally.
So I saw one of these forums or posts on the board, and it kind of has to do with SEC Media Days. The topic was, what event marks the beginning of football season for you? And for a lot of people, for some people, it is SEC Media Days. Other people were saying when Dave Campbell's Texas football hits the shelf. So, Olin, for you, what is the beginning of football season?
Well, I want to be the wise guy and say like September 2nd, right?
When the games
actually start, that's football season. But in our jobs, like I've been in a period of like 2 months of trying to find things to write about.
And to your credit, you've done a really good job as the managing editor. I've gotten consistent emails from you. You've turned stuff around.
A&M's not really good about making players available or other coaches, so it's hard to write features and things like that. So you got to try to get creative to come up with content, right? But for us, starting Monday, that slow period is over.
Go ahead and tell us what's going on around Aggieland.
Yeah, so we actually have quite a bit for it kind of being a dead sports week. So if y'all didn't know, we have 50 days till fighting Texas Aggie football.
So we did know that because Olin Buchanan did the quick math on air, a couple segments ago.
Gotcha. I was a little busy back there, so I wasn't able to completely get up to now on that. But
you missed a lot, but you didn't miss much.
Yeah, Olin just always has a lot to say, I've realized in my time here.
Olin's going to Olin. He's awesome.
Olin's going to Olin. Yeah, Dalton walked back this morning, and he's like, Olin is being Olin, so we can enjoy that. Also on the football side of things and recruiting, Jimbo Fisher and company are staying hot on the recruiting trail as 2024 Commerce Judson safety Miles Davis announced his commitment to Texas A&M. He became the 17th member of the Aggies' quickly growing 2024 class and also the 11th commit in the past month.
Yeah, 11
Crazy.
in less than 30 days is insane. This run is, I've worked at TexAgs for over 4 years now, been on the publishing team for 4 years now, so I've gotten to see a lot of recruiting during those 4 years. I have never seen a run quite like this. Yeah. Obviously, Billy and Jason and Bronny and Hop, they've covered recruiting for much longer than I have. Mm-hmm. I don't think they've seen anything like this. Jimbo and company, scorching.
The dominoes are falling for sure. Moving on to the other side of things, we got some men's basketball news as they added transfer Wildens Levesque is how you pronounce his name, He is a graduate transfer who has made 52 starts and seen action in 108 career games at South Carolina and UMass, so great addition there for Buzz. And then also this week, Texas A&M dropped its non-conference schedule. Just want to go over some notables there. November 10th at Ohio State in Columbus.
Whoa, time out. First off, what's opening night?
Opening night is Texas A&M Commerce at Reed Arena.
And I believe that's November the 7th?
6th. 6th. Look at you. You're on
Just
it.
got to start the Pack Reed propaganda
Reed propaganda. Right? And then November 14th at SMU in Dallas, number 17th, Oral Roberts, Jared's old school, will be coming to Reed Arena.
Oh, Jared, I didn't know you went to Oral Roberts.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know it.
Yeah.
How about that?
You learn something new every day.
Learn something new every day. Oral Bob.
And then November 29th, the ACC SEC Challenge Virginia Animal will be playing Virginia.
In Charlottesville. Shout out to Ronald Woodard, former producer of TexAgs Radio.
Okay.
You didn't know that. See, I'm giving you a little. You
time.
learned something new.
I've only been here for like a year.
Ronnie was also before my time as well, but
Okay.
I have respect for the greats that have come before me. It's something you'll learn as you progress through your time here.
Gotcha.
You mentioned Texas A&M baseball recruiting. Perfect little segue into some football recruiting talk. Obviously, Wednesday, Miles Davis made the call for the Aggies, the 17th member of the 2024 class.
Wow.
11 in the last 30. You followed this for much longer than I have.
Mm-hmm.
Have you, can you ever remember a run like what Jimbo Fisher and company are on right now?
No. Look, I said this the other day. Man. The 22 cycle was like a year-long run like I've never seen.
Yeah.
And there were many runs in there that were like, oh, wow, look at that. But so that whole cycle, you almost take that and file it away and say that's as good as it's ever going to be. As good as it ever had been up until that point. Outside of that, and even including that year in a summertime stretch, this is as impressive a momentum hit as I've seen from Aggie football. And even Jimbo, who's put together, he signed, I think, a number 3 or 4 class. He signed a number 1 class here. I think a top 5 class in there, number 6, whatever it was. This has been the most impressive off-season stretch, condensed, that I've seen. And they're not done. And let me tell you something. The 2 most underrated players in this class, in my opinion, are the 2 guys named Miles. O'Neal and Davis.
Mm-hmm.
O'Neal should, and he's starting to, people are starting to catch on, he should skyrocket up the national rankings. That's one of the best, most live arms I've seen. The release, the accuracy, short, down the field, the touch when needed. He is an elite thrower of the football, and he's a big, athletic kid, really big kid. He should be moving up into, in my opinion, into that national top 100 range. It's not a great year for QBs, and I think he is a great QB prospect. I believe not only Jimbo Fisher, Bobby Petrino saw that as well. As far as Miles Davis, the recent commit, move him up your rankings. If you're paying any attention, this is a guy in high-level Texas high school football who is pretty dominant on tape. He'll hit you. He can cover. He's got range.
As the pitching coordinator in the Seattle organization, what did your day-to-day look like there, and how different is that from what you're expecting here?
I think you need to tell them first when's the last time you owned a car, and how many nights on the road you spent last year? Seriously.
Marriott's been good to me. So about 252 nights a year. I've got multiple months of free rental car days, and I just didn't really want to go home. It didn't seem like the right thing to do when players are working. And before the season even started, January 2nd, the last 5 years, fly out to Arizona, bring all the top pitchers out, and we're working every single day before spring, through spring, into the season. So there's not really time off. And Coach and I sort of joke sometimes it's not that it's less work by any means, but at least I know where I'm sleeping most nights.
Yeah.
And I think that's really meaningful, and that's something that's cool. So just a couple questions, I guess. First, to answer you, it's not that I think that things have changed, but to Coach's point, it's the evolution of how we're explaining it. Mm-hmm. So a huge component of the staff identity is dominating the strike zone, which you're going to hear us say, BU aligned with us. right? Aligning with us is we're going to win those counts. We're going to manage these counts. But how you do that, that's up to you. Huge part of my coaching philosophy is trying to answer the question that Ken Ravizza once posed of, are you that bad of an athlete that you need to feel great to perform well? And what we need to do is to create a practice plan that makes pitchers believe that they're competitors before they are pitchers. Because competitors have self-confidence. I'll get you out because of who I am. Pitchers have skill confidence. I'll get you out because I have horizontal break or a spin. And that's a dangerous place to live. And it's really dangerous when you're sitting there and it's Hoover and 1,000,000 degrees and it feels like you're holding a cotton ball or a cue ball. You need to get over your feelings. So everything that we're going to be doing today and tomorrow and the visualization work throughout the summer and everything that we're doing is geared toward those moments. Everything is about asking ourselves how we view ourselves as a competitor and the clarity in which the plan that we have to do so. So I don't mean to take a left turn, but I do think that it's important, especially for young guys and their support system, because they're talking to their families, understand that this isn't reinventing the wheel. This is just providing clarity so that they can visualize better and be able to debrief better and have a healthier relationship with the game.
There's such a psychology to it. And just hearing you talk, and I think everybody that's a baseball fan or has played it or follows it understands how mental that game truly is. But hearing you say that hammers it home. But also as coaches, you mentioned it a second ago. How important is it for, you can get this guy coming up can't hit a left, he struggles against a curveball from lefties. And you're in Omaha and it's the 5th inning and your pitcher's been wiping out everybody with his slider the whole game. But this guy can hit a slider pretty well, a lot better than he could hit a curve. How important is it, like you said, to be present in that game on that day and kind of where you go, I know what the information tells me, but I'm also watching this baseball game and I'm watching my pitcher and I know what's best right now.
This is a game that's played by humans.
Right.
Like, I think that's the perfect answer. And anyone who's done anything, whether you're having a relationship with your partner, a relationship with your friend, you can have an anchor of who you are, but that doesn't mean that's who you always are. And I think that's Jim and I really get along well. Nolan and I really get along well. Mike and I get along well. And us having this great trust and talking so much, that's how we get there.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's not always about how good is your stuff, right? Because your stuff sort of sets your ceiling of what you can throw, what you can express. How you manage the 15 seconds between pitches will determine how close you are to that top end threshold. So we have a mental health department. We have mental skills coaches, huge, and has a great long-standing track record of bringing in resources to help their kids manage that. There is no skill development without personal development. And that's, to your question, that really is the foundational piece. And that's kind of the cool part of this all.